Myself, M. Karthik Kumar Reddy, working as an assistant professor in Nalla Narasimha Reddy Education Society's group of institutions in the Department of Civil Engineering in Foundation Engineering subject in Unit 2 Slope Stability. So let us first recall whatever we have discussed in the previous lecture. In the previous lecture, we understood about different types of slope failures and causative factors for slope failures, and we also discussed about infinite slope stability analysis methods, and we have also discussed that two types of slopes are predominantly occurred. They are infinite slopes and finite slopes. Then the finite slopes are the one which are man-made slopes to the maximum extent, and some hill slopes also can be called as finite slopes. Now when we look into the analysis of finite slopes, there are different possible failure surfaces. The failure surfaces can be planar in nature, or if it is a homogeneous soil, then there can be possibility that you can get a circular failure surface. And if you are having a different stratification of soils, there can be possibility that we can get non-circular failure surfaces. So in this slide, three different failure surfaces are shown. One is defined as planar failure surface. This occurs along a specific plane or weakness. So where the potential weak plane will exist, and this failure surface occurs along a specific plane or a weakness. This basically excavation into stratified deposits where strata dipping towards the excavation, that is the layers of soil dipping towards the excavation, and in earthen dams along the sloping course of weak materials not likely to occur in homogeneous soil. So these planar failure surfaces, they occur along a specific plane of weakness, and the circular failure surface, this is for the soils exhibiting cohesion C or cohesion C and friction angle phi, and no specific plane of weakness or great strength. So this actually takes in the form of a circular failure surface and non-circular failure surface. When the distribution of shearing resistance within an earthen dam is non-uniform, and failure can occur along surfaces more complex than a circle. So this is the said that non-circular failure surface mostly occurs in layered soils. So in the typical cross section of finite slope, which is shown in the figure, with one vertical and horizontal, where the small n is the number. If n is the equal to 2, it indicates that the slope is having one vertical and two horizontal slope inclination, that is about 26 degrees approximately with horizontal, and if n is equal to 1, that indicates that the slope is actually having a 45 degrees slope inclination with the horizontal, and the horizontal surface indicates that the back slope is, which is 0 degrees, but in practice there can be a possibility that the slope can also have a particularly especially for natural slopes. The inclination of back slope inclination is ranging from 1 degrees to 20 degrees. So in this case, for a cross section of a finite slope, a typical planar failure surface is shown in the figure, and then a two wedge type of failure surfaces is shown. It is said that earthen dam suppose a sloping core under the weakness potential, that a weakness plane, then the two wedge failure mechanism can come, and this is the typical circular failure surface, and this is also a circular failure surface where the majority of the failure surface extending into the soft soil which is underneath underneath it, for example beneath this level, beneath the bottom level. And this is a toe slope failure where it can be seen that the entry and the exit point is from the toe of the slope. So this is called the entry point. Whatever the toe level is called the entry point, commencement of the entry point of the failure surface, and this is also the exist failure surface. So in a given slope there can be a number of failure surfaces, but one is to determine the failure surface which actually gives the critical factor of safety or the least factor of safety, and that particular failure surface is called the potential failure surface. Critical failure surface is called, whenever the factor of safety is least, that is called a critical failure surface. Now we can, in this figure we can observe typical patterns of rotational slides. Now in this particular slide there can be a typical rotational slides which are shown. One is a cylindrical shaped failure surface. You can see that this is the circular arch, that cylindrical shaped is a circular arch, but the failure surface which actually shown is mostly, this is common for plane strain structures. There can be a settlement at the certain point away from the crest of the slope, and a failure surface which actually occurs because of the soil movement, which is actually shown here. And this is a typical rotational slide which is also called as spoon shaped failure, as we can see in the figure. We know that the total stress parameters may be adapted for the short term conditions, and the effective stress parameters, total stress parameters may be adapted for short term conditions, and the effective stress parameters can be adapted for the long term conditions or getting the long term stability of a slope. Total stress parameters can be obtained for the short term stability, assessing the short term stability of a slope. So the short term basically for low permeable soils, basically in place at the end of the construction of the soil is almost still undrained. So here the adoption of total stress analysis of the soil, which is clay, is almost still undrained. Hence the total stress analysis is making use of undrained shear strength, that is Cu is used and adapted. Some free draining materials like sands and gravels, if we look into it, the drainage takes place. The drainage takes place immediately, hence effective stress parameters C dash and phi dash are used. Suppose if you have got a free draining materials like sands and gravels, when the drainage takes place immediately, so there is a need for adapting effective stress parameters, that is C dash and phi dash, that is cohesion and angle of internal friction. Long term, relatively after a long period of time. Let us say that an embankment is constructed in soft soil. After having waited for certain duration, the fully drained condition might have been a time. So the fully drained stage have been reached, and the effective stress parameters like C dash and phi dash can be used. So what we broadly say is that the effective stress parameters are used for long term conditions, are also used for assessing the stability. Effective stress parameters are used for long term conditions and are also used for assessing the stability of particular slope with free draining materials like sands and gravels. In case if there is a short term condition with low permeability, then the adoption of total stress parameters is more relevant. So the total stress strength is used for short term conditions in clay soils, whereas the effective stress strength is used for long term conditions in all kinds of soils. Total stress used for clay soils for short term condition, and effective stress used for long term condition in all types of soils. In any condition where the pore pressure is known, so this is after done by Jembu 1973 stated that the total strength is used for short term conditions in clay soils, whereas the conditions where the pore pressure is known. So this pore water pressure may result due to ingress of rainwater into the slope, that we have discussed. One of the causative factors of the slope instability is rainfall. So because of this, once the ingress of rainwater is captured in the form of periodic surfaces, we can actually get the pore water pressure. Having known, then we can actually estimate the total stress parameters, and the long term conditions can be used. In the Coming to the analysis of finite slope, particularly with factor of safety, the factor of safety for finite slopes depends basically on the assumed location of center of rotation of the slope surface. So as it was shown that the typical failure surface, particularly for a circular arch failure surface, where it all depends upon the location of center of rotation. If a slope analysis which is done in two dimensions, that is basically for a plane strength structure in x and y directions, the assumed location of center of rotation for the slip surface and the radius of failure surface, basically a radius is actually exists, and the type of failure, that is toe failure, base failure or slope failure.